Do you know what the biggest game in the world is? If you had to choose, you would probably say, I don't know, Counter-Strike, maybe Fortnite, or even Minecraft. Well, if you did, you're wrong. It's PUBG Mobile. Yes, mobile. The thing you use to call people with.
Hello?
Just to put into perspective how big it is, Counter-Strike, the biggest game on Steam, has about 14 million daily players. How many does PUBG Mobile have? Double. And this was recorded 2 years ago. This game is a goliath, and although every metric possible is in its favor, there are parts to the game that is some of the most bizarre shit I've ever seen. So let's get into it. The most interesting part of the game is that it isn't PUBG, it's PUBG Mobile. They are very different things. Sure, it has the same name and has the same battle royale formula sometimes. It also adds its own stuff. It has guns the original doesn't have, maps, and even game modes. There is way more things in PUBG Mobile, and I think it helps it to some degree. First, let's talk about the game itself. How is the game after you've been through the menus, which we will talk about in a bit. Overall, the game is fun. When it comes down to the gameplay, it still has PUBG's DNA, even if slightly tweaked here and there. 90% of the guns are the same, the vehicles are bugged as always, and people still camp the bridge like hobos. If you like PUBG, you would like PUBG Mobile. The biggest concern is, of course, how do you manage to play a PC game on mobile? Well, the controls are surprisingly quite smooth. Every button is adjustable in size and position, so if you want to try hard with 4 fingers, go ahead. Performance can be a bit wonky though. I'm pretty sure majority of the games I play have 300 ping, so if you're in a country without a server, good luck, bro. But if you do manage to get past all that, it's low-key a blast. What I love the most is the guns. There is no rarity bullshit. The gun is the gun, but you do have to find attachments in the game, which makes ultimately the exact same gun feel completely different depending on the attachments you have. I can't lie, the bots really suck. When you're in the lower ranks, literally 80% of the players are bots. This can really fuck with your head. You can be pushing people thinking they are just stupid bots because they very much likely are, but then end up being the most cracked Chinese players you've ever seen. Every BR has this now, and I hate it. But I guess there's nothing you can do about it. People might be turned away that it isn't just PUBG on mobile, and to that, do you remember Fortnite Mobile? That was basically just Fortnite. You even played with people on console and PC. Well, that game is fucking gone. But what's important is that they're allowed to do things that wouldn't work in the base game because, let's be real, a phone is way different to a PC, and to try and make it do the same things is ridiculous. Plus, sometimes they do add some really dope things. But this also affects the game negatively. When I played the game back in season 1, yes, I'm an OG, there was one map, one mode, and the only thing you could change was whether you want to play solo, duos, or squads. This was the menu. This is it now. They've added 6 new maps to the game, and I'm pretty sure 2 of them aren't even in the base game. There's also more than 10 different game modes, and there used to be an extraction mode like Tarkov, which had its own menus and systems inside of PUBG Mobile, so it was technically 2 games in one. And on top of that, they've done the Roblox thing where you can make your own game modes, so there's actually an infinite amount. Sure, you can make the argument that more choices is better, but it's at the point the game is struggling to load. Navigating the menus on an iPhone 13 has issues. When will it get to the point that the devs can sit down and say, that's enough content? But this is not only from the large amount of game modes, there is something way worse and way darker affecting the game. The monetization in PUBG Mobile is the worst thing I've ever seen in my life. You have a regular shop to buy stuff like normal, then another shop to gamble in, then a battle pass, of course, you can't forget that. And then there's another shop for no reason. Sure, this is expected from mobile games nowadays, but for sure, this is the worst I've seen. People give Call of Duty a lot of slack for quote-unquote not being realistic. If they saw this. It's so bad that when you download the game that was already 3 gigs, you still have to download a large amount of shit in the lobby, like the skins. If you don't, everyone will be naked. The amount of things they can sell you is honestly quite impressive. If you look at Fortnite, a game I've been comparing it to a lot, my bad, they sell you skins, sure, but what PUBG Mobile does is they sell you clothing items. So not only do you have to buy a shirt, you need pants too, and shoes, and a mask, and of course a hat. There's also backpack skins, helmet skins, one for each of the 6 vehicles, and for every single one of the 57 guns in the game. Oh, and emotes. How can I forget emotes? God forbid you accidentally buy a timed out skin that expires in a week. I don't even want to get started with the 10 different currencies. Let's please not go there. This might not seem like a problem on the surface, because it really isn't. If you want to dress like a hentai, go ahead, but where it gets annoying is when the game ends up being over 10 gigabytes large. On the App Store, it's only 3, but after downloading everything, it basically rounds up to 10 gigabytes. Because of all the monetization they stuff down your throats, the game has made over $10 billion. But why? Why is this mobile game so successful? Well, that's exactly why. It's a mobile game. When it comes to other types of video games, there's a pretty expensive barrier that people have to buy in order to play them, like having to own a console or PC. But what does everyone have? A phone. And that's all you need to play PUBG Mobile. Oh, and 10 gigs of space. And it is impressive. You playing on a big ass map against 100 other players on your cell phone, and the game looks good. Like, graphically, it's not bad at all. You have to put into perspective that before PUBG Mobile released, the most advanced game was Subway Surfers. The jump in quality is ginormous. I mean, even today, massive companies like Respawn can't even release their own Battle Royale. They tried making an Apex Mobile and it got cancelled. And that's not the only franchise that's been influenced by it. As you probably know, Call of Duty has their own. It's also huge. This would never have happened if it wasn't for PUBG Mobile. Even though the Battle Royale version of COD that they tried to release is buns compared to PUBG. It changed the landscape for mobile games. So ultimately, we can shit on the game as much as we want, but in hindsight, whether you like him or you don't like him, there's nothing you can do about him, because he's number one.